Two, three. Welcome to the latest season of the Monchi's Men podcast. I'm Chris Lau, your host. We got Steve Ebner and Eddie, a.k.a. Suso Nation.
What up?
Up in Toronto with us. Steve's up in Minnesota. I'm here in, Manassas, Virginia, outside the Washington, D.C. area. So, guys, long off season. Welcome back. How you doing? What's new?
What's new? We already lost. We already lost at the season opener. That's what's new. And I'm not looking forward to the season. I am a little bit. They almost got me there. They got me excited. Jeez. I wasn't at first, but then La Liga happened, and yeah, here we are.
Oh, am I up now?
Well, you can, yeah.
I don't know. It was quiet. Go ahead.
I was just saying, that's what pissed me off so much yesterday was there was so much hype. I was hyped. I had my new kit on. I was taking photos. I made a stupid Instagram reel of all my scarves, all this stuff. Man, I was so excited. And then, as Eddie said, La Liga happened. Jesus Christ. Here we are. Steve, how'd you take the game yesterday? What'd you do? Anything special?
No, I did not watch it from my office at work. That is my story, and I'm sticking to it. No, I've been hyping it up. I've been looking forward to it, and I watched our center backs play as our center backs played for the first 10 minutes. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a long season. And I was right. And then I got my hopes up, kind of similar to what Eddie did when we responded so quickly in such non-Sevilla, non-Lopetegui fashion. Like it was crisp, it was clean, it was beautiful. So that got my hopes up, and then things just fell apart. Felt like yep, I'm sure we're going to talk about the penalty and the decision there, but really this loss is on us. We did not put ourselves in a position to win. The substitutions that were made were not unsurprising. We watched them make substitutions like that all last year. I think every game that Lopetegui managed last year had substitutions that didn't make that much sense. The games that he was suspended for or was out for, maybe we had a little bit more finesse there with our substitutions. But yeah, it was kind of more of the same. It's the same as last year. We'll see how long this goes. But on the plus side, football is back. We're back watching La Liga. We're back watching this team. I'm back here talking to you guys about this. I still love this team, still love this sport. And I'm really excited for the next year, I guess, because it's going to be a longer season because we got the World Cup break. It's going to be wild. There's going to be a lot of intrigue to come. We're bottom of the table right now, but we can only go up from there. And it's going to be a wild ride over the next couple of months.
Yeah, it's definitely it's going to be a unique season. It is an understatement. The game yesterday. So it's playing Osasuna, a decent side. I mean, they've got good quality on that team, and we saw that from Jimmy. Man, holy cow, what a goal! And his positioning was just smart. I mean, he ran to the back post and they found him, and they peppered us with some long distance shots throughout the game too. So, and almost scored what was it in the first minute? It was really, really shaky there in the first minute. But anyway, Sevilla had won their last 4 La Liga openers and haven't lost an opener since 2013. So kind of a bummer that they lost this one. Penalty, okay, not a penalty. I don't know what they were thinking. There was even confusion among the fans whether it was called for a handball or for the foul to the face. He didn't even hit him in the face. Like, that's a lot. That's a move, man. That's so soft. Like, the guys on our feed were arguing that it was just that's what you do in football. Like, you're trying to win the ball. It's not a foul. Like, if he had got up in the face, sure, but he didn't. And the other thing is, why didn't it go to VAR? Like, okay, that was questionable. Why didn't it go to VAR? And I think the explanation after the game was not good enough from the league. Like, it was like, referee decision on contact. Referee owns that. No, that's not how it's been in the past. Like,
well, the rule is though that this did go to VAR. Like they recommended it go to VAR, but the official on the field can say, yes, I'm going to take a look at this, or no, I'm going to stick with what I have. That he has the right. He has the ability to overrule, not even go look at it. So
did they say that's what happened? I don't think it did. I don't think VAR even rang him. It didn't look like it because it was immediate. Like, he went to the spot. There was no time between, other than the arguing between the players. Like, there was no. You never saw him go to the headset. You never saw him like with the trademark, finger the headset thing. Yeah, like, I don't know. Whatever. La Liga, right? Like, and this guy, we've had our issues with this ref in the past too. It's not like his first go around with Sevilla. He's the one that I think. With the Koundé red card last year at Barcelona, which wasn't controversial. Don't get me wrong, but
come on.
I mean, he's had issues in the past with Sevilla.
The thing is,
what
though,
referee in La Liga hasn't, right?
Up until that point, the game was not officiated poorly. I actually have on my notes here. The second line that's crossed out. I crossed it out angrily after the penalty. It was just like noticeable change in the way the game was officiated. Like, it seemed like they were making changes, and because they were letting a lot more physicality into the game. They were not stopping things. We did not have a lot of stoppage time. Like it felt like it was new. It felt like it was fresh, and the announcers were talking about all these changes that were being made to the officiating and the new emphasis on rules and how they can make the game, like, speed it up and make it more exciting. And then it just all unravels, and I'm like, okay, like that's
what's so funny is like La Liga said, hey, no soft penalties this year, and then here it is in the first freaking game of the year, bam, soft penalty. Like, there goes La Liga's mandate, like, right out the window. Unbelievable. You just hate to see, like, if they would have called that on us, would you have been happy with that? I wouldn't have.
Well, I would have been thrilled, but I would have.
No,
I would have admitted that it was not correct, but I would have taken the penalty. Like, of course. Like,
I think I would have been just as angry because that's not cool. That's not fair.
No,
it takes away from the game. It's like a red card. Whether a red card is merited or not, I hate red cards because the game is totally different after that. Same with penalties at that stage of the game. I think we were having the better chances in the second half. At first, I thought we didn't play that well in the second half, but having looked at it again, we did have some decent chances when S3E2 came on. But that penalty went in, and it's like, okay, we're going to have to fight back again, which this team we already know doesn't do well. So good on them to get back after the first goal, but then that second goal just deflated us. And there was nothing good after that.
Yeah, the team seemed really strange in the second half, and the subs had zero impact on the game. You mentioned in S3E2, he had the one, from my memory, he had that one header that went straight to the keeper that I can't remember who crossed that in. It might have been Navas or I can't remember. It came from the right side, and
he was involved in quite a bit in the short amount of time he came on, though. He had won the ball back, which led to the chance that Lamela put through for him, but he took a bad touch. I think that was the only bad thing he did, to be fair, because all the other times we just weren't really passing him the ball.
I think Steve made a comment in the forums though about him running offside when that was it you, Steve, that talked about him running offside?
Lamela didn't release it early enough.
Lamela seemed off, right? To me, I thought Lamela was really off yesterday. He was very timid, even in the latter part of the game, right before the whistle.
His
He had
touches.
a chance. Well, he had a chance at the top of the box to take a shot, and instead of taking a shot, he laid it off to like somebody in the midfield. I don't remember who it was. Maybe Fernando coming in, but it was like, dude, just put it on. And I don't think we do that enough. And Tim on the forums has definitely called that out in the past. Like, shoot the damn ball from distance, make the keeper make a save, and who knows, you might see a rebounded effort, somebody getting on the end of the ball. Maybe not, because we never have anybody in the box, but there's a chance there. I don't know. I thought the substitutions were poor. I thought Rakitic was a good sub because I thought he was going to impact the game based upon what we saw in the preseason, but he didn't do anything, in my opinion. Ivan coming on was just strange. Leaving Oliver on the bench really baffled me because you needed some creativity and speed there, and I think he's probably our most dynamic player as far as picking out people. Even from deep, I think Oliver can do that. And to leave him on the bench when you needed the goal just seemed really strange to me. But
I mean, it's strange, but it's not surprising. He hasn't gotten a lot of playing time relative to the other players under Lopetegui. Like, for whatever reason, Lopetegui doesn't like to use him as frequently, which is a shame because he does have that skill set that you mentioned, Chris. But
he was the best player on the pitch the last friendly against Cadiz.
Yeah, and so it's like, on one hand, it induces anger and it's frustration, but on the other hand, it's not surprising at all because we've seen this for the last 3 years. So it's just kind of more par for the course, and it'd be different if there were other players that had similar skill sets, that it was more of a like for like kind of swap, and Lopetegui preferred one player over the other. But like in this situation, Oliver would have been an upgrade over a lot of what was going on in the midfield, and we don't have that depth there with equal skill sets. So I don't understand why he does not get more playing time on this squad.
But even more baffling to me is, why did Acuna and Telles, why were they on the pitch at the same time? And why was Telles playing the wing position instead of Acuna? Like, I don't know. And that's with Oliver on the bench. Granted, he's not as great at playing wing, but Monir was left in Sevilla. Rumors of him going out. Maybe that's why Oliver didn't get on the pitch. Maybe he's on his way out too, and we just don't know what's going on behind the scenes there. Eddie, any thoughts on that?
I don't really agree that you guys are saying that there were bad subs. Well, for one, because I don't think Lopetegui trusts the players that he had on the bench, hence why they didn't play, namely Jordan and Oliver, or else clearly that midfield needed a little bit of that, and he went with Fernando and Delaney. So I'm pretty sure the players that played yesterday were the ones that he trusts, and perhaps that was a message from Lopetegui. I know Ryan mentioned this. I think he was half joking, but it might be kind of true. Hoping Lopetegui was playing the long game. A loss gets him more money for signings. But we know Jordan there's doubts with him, right? So he didn't get any minutes yesterday. Oliver, I feel like he doesn't have Lopetegui's trust. He doesn't really have my trust anymore either, so I'm fine with not seeing him. Telles and Acuna, those are two players that could play left midfield, and they have really good left foot to put in a cross. So even Acuna himself could play ahead of a left back, hence why they came on. The thing that was disappointing was obviously Rakitic to bring some more creativity in the park, but there were some passes that went wayward late in that game. It was like you were brought on just for this, and there was no accuracy in his passing. Lamella's touches were a bit off as well. I think Necessity came on because Rafa couldn't complete 90 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. Some people were mad about that, but you're right on that. I mean, he's been out for 10 days, so
yeah, and for sure.
Rafa Mir is definitely, I think at this point, is definitely a step above in Nasiri. But you have to give him rest, especially with how hot it was yesterday. You can't expect him to go 90 and then be able to go again on next Friday. So
let's talk about that. We haven't talked about the goal yet. I mean, let's Let's look at some of the positives. That goal was fabulous, man. The touch from Papu to control that and then immediately cross it in, and then Rafa with the excellent decision. He gets a lot of flack for like his decision making on his runs and stuff, but that run was perfect to the near post on that cross, and then to be able to finish it like he did, like that's what you want from your striker. So, but excellent goal, right? Like Papu, man. If you guys didn't see that, you got to watch that. Just control and then immediate cross. That was great. Other than that, he didn't do much. He had a chance later, Papu, but it should have been a goal. Really good setup from Tecatito, and laying it back to Papu, and Papu just kind of snuffed it a little bit with his foot and hit it right at the keeper, but should have scored. Yeah.
I think Papu was decent in this game. I mean, if there was only going to be, it was only going to come from him in the midfield. Again, I didn't really have a problem with Lopetegui's setup, but putting Ocampos on the left, we know that does not work. He's totally ineffective on the left. So even defensively, he was ineffective. I mean, I know we could blame Gudeli on the cross, but he didn't close down that right back, who had a lot of time and space to pick out that cross. So other than that, Ocampos on the left, sometimes they don't even look for that option going forward. And one thing that has bothered me since year one, the passes to the center forward. Like, we're not passing in the ball. Like, try to hold up the ball, hold up the play so it doesn't have to go backwards so easily. And we're not passing the ball to Rafa Mir. Hence, he's going to take shots whenever he gets the ball because they're not passing it to him anyway. So if there's anything going Rafa Mir's way, is that he's a decent player that does not get the ball to him. So are things going to change when Isco comes on? I don't know, but
I don't think they're going to get worse. They're not going to get any worse when Isco comes on. I mean,
sure.
Like it's like he things can only go up from our midfield play, right? Like that creative midfield play. It's like we don't have a lot to hang our head on right now. So anything is going to be better or at least different. So I don't know. Rafa Mir's on pace for 38 goals this year, guys. Though, come on, like that's. You heard it here first, folks.
Who knows? Speaking of Isco, can you remember a player coming into the squad with as much pressure that's on his shoulders? Like
last January, Martial.
Do you think?
He's kind of right, yeah.
I mean, he had that much pressure. I mean, it probably wasn't as warranted, but hopes were high. And
he was celebrated like a new signing.
Yeah.
Like we bought him, like we signed him permanently.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean, though. But at the same time, I don't think there's that much pressure on him. It's more on, for now, it's more on Monchi and his team and what they're doing, and also on Lopetegui, because people are not convinced that things are going to be different this year, even with his favorite player, Isco. But I don't think the pressure's on Isco. I just think he's loved by Spain, as one of theirs.
Yeah.
Like one of those players that has to be celebrated.
And he's Andalusian, so of course we're gonna love him in south of Spain even more. So
the thing is, he's only 32. Like he's got years left on. Like it's like he's not going to be in his prime like he was in his mid to late 20s. But like he could definitely play out his contract with us, and maybe even like sign a 1 or 2 year deal after his contract if he's in form. Like it's not unheard of. He could be here for a while.
Can he be the Banega player that we've been missing?
He definitely. I think he could. I think he could.
In terms of a star in the midfield, sure. Obviously, he's not going to play the same role because Banega kind of transitioned into he was always a more deep lying midfielder to start off the play from the center backs. But I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't excited by the signing. I sort of still can't believe it that Isco is here, but at the same time, I'm not too excited just because of how we play already. Because you know how much the ball sticks amongst the center backs and the goalkeeper. When is that ball going to be going to Isco? All right.
Yeah, and that's what I kind of feel that same way, Eddie, and wondering if Isco can change his game to drop back and gather that ball and bring it forward, because I think that is going to be critical for him to be able to succeed here. He's going to have to take that kind of Banega role and come drop a little deeper and come forward with it or pick out a pass. If we can, if he's allowed to do that in a Lopetegui system.
So who is Isco, in your mind, who is Isco going to be replacing in our starting 11?
Papu Gomez.
Chris, you think it'd be Papu too? So my argument here, or my question here is, does he need to be better than Banega? Does he need to be at Banega's level, or does he just need to be an improvement over Papu? I would say he just needs to be a noticeable improvement over Papu. We don't need to be back in the Banega conversation. Like, it'd be nice to have him play at that level, but at this point, like, we just need to improve what we have on the field. And whether or not he measures up to Banega's last couple of years with us is kind of irrelevant. It's just a matter of, are we taking steps to get better from where we are right now? And I think that definitely is going to be an upgrade over Papu.
So Eddie, are you saying Papu as a winger, or Papu is kind of some of the roles that we saw him last year playing, kind of that advanced midfielder role that we saw every now and again in the Lopez? Whatever.
Both, because both players, their best position is that number 10 role. They could both play on the wing. I think for us, Papu, obviously I want Papu centrally, but if I had to pick between those two, who would play on the wing when they're both playing together, it'd be Papu because he's quicker than Isco. But they could both play together. It's just...
That's what I'm wondering, if he'll try that.
But Isco, I'm pretty sure, is to come in centrally. Why? He could possibly play on the wing, yes, because he has done that before, but why would you bring him to do that? It's like you want another Suso on the left side. That's going to slow the game down. He's not a speedster. We already lack pace, right? So I'm pretty sure he's going to come in to play centrally.
Yeah, that's what I hope. But we know Lopetegui. He definitely likes to stick with that same formation, and can he get away from the Rakitic, Jordan Love? You brought up playing Delaney and Fernando together in the midfield. I think he did that. One, Delaney's been really good in the preseason, but I also thought he started that way because of the defense and bringing some help back to the defenders. And I don't know if we'll see that, moving forward once things settle in the back. If they settle, not looking so promising right now with all the rumors and stuff, but we know how Monchi works. He can pull something out of a rabbit out of a hat in a drop of an eye. But I think this team's got a lot of questions, and there's more questions than answers at this point. And that's never where you want to be in the start of your season. And there's a lot of key pieces that Monchi hasn't filled, and it's really strange. It seems like, I don't know, it seems like this is maybe his first season that I can remember him struggling with as far as the transfer market. And maybe I'm reading too much into that. Maybe he has a master plan that we just don't see, but it just seems like, I don't think it's ideal for him going into that first season without a solid back line already set. And maybe the Koundé selling, we did sell Jules Koundé. We haven't talked about this on the podcast, but he did leave. Maybe that taking so long kind of screwed everything up for him, right? Like, it just took longer than expected. So, what do you think about the transfer window so far? Do you think Monchi's struggling? There's people questioning on Twitter if Monchi's lost some of his magic. Do you think that's it, or do you think it's just a new market that he's trying to figure out?
How do you see it, Steve?
I'm actually really happy with this transfer window, and I've talked about this on the forum a little bit. we all knew that Koundé and Carlos were going to leave. So we all knew that even if we were to sign 2 new center backs, flashy new signings, they would not be, at least immediately, they would not be up to the level of those 2 center backs we've had there starting for the last 3 years. And we are going to see some kind of noticeable fall off at center back. But so bringing Marcao in whenever he's able to get on the pitch, that is going to kind of satiate some of the concerns there at center back. Again, not to the level of Carlos or Koundé, but probably, I would say definitely better than the combination of Rekic and Gudel there. And did we sell or did we loan Augustinsson, who has been a topic many times on this podcast between the 3 of us, especially towards the end of last season. And we replaced him with Telles. And Telles is not going to take the starting job, at least on a regular basis, away from Acuna, but he is far and away an upgrade over Augustinsson. And we've already talked about some of the ways that we can use him so that both Acuna and Telles are on the field at the same time. And we couldn't really see that with Augustinsson last year. He didn't have that same versatility. And then Isco coming in is exciting. And it's reinforcements for our midfield. No matter how he's going to play or where he's going to play, it's going to be a reinforcement over whoever else he's replacing in that midfield. So I think we really need to find another center back. Ideally, so we would have a brand new center back starting lineup. We have Marcao and then whoever comes in, whether that's Nelson or somebody else that's been rumored. There's been a lot of rumors there. And then I would really like to find somebody who we can bring in to push Rafa Mir and En-Nesyri in that striker role as well. It doesn't have to be a flashy new signing, but somebody who's got some physicality, somebody who's fast, somebody who does something really well. Something like, now you're gonna get on my case for saying this, but someone like Luke de Jong, not necessarily Luke de Jong, but someone like, you bring him in and you know that he is good in the box, he is good on set pieces, he is good with his head. Like that's what he's good for. He's not expected to do everything. But someone who has that skill set where we know we have someone that can do X, Y, or Z. Because right now we have Rafa Mir, we have En-Nesyri, and we've got some folks from Sevilla Atletico who we don't necessarily trust to do any of that really well on a consistent basis. So I want to see someone there and then someone else in the midfield. But right now, like, we are improved in all of the ways that I would like us to have improved over the offseason, because I knew that center back we would take a step back at center back, and I knew that. But all of the other signings that we've done have been improvements over where we were at the end of last season in May. So I'm happy where we are. Would I like to see more? Yeah, of course. But I'm happy where we are right now, and anything more at this point is just going to be more reinforcements that are taking us to the next level. That being said, I don't think it's unreasonable to expect the entire team to take a step back from last year, just in terms of quality wise, because we leaned so heavily on the defensive lineup that we had, the 4 defenders and then Bono, and they worked so well together. They played for a long time together. They covered up a lot of mistakes that the other half of the field was making. So this is just, we're going to go through some growing pains, but all in all, my expectations have been met, and anything more is just going to be icing on the cake.
First of all, hang on. I'm glad this is going to be on YouTube, because that head tilt that Eddie gave you when you said Luke de Jong, it was worth watching in itself. But
to be fair, I don't want Luke de Jong back, but I followed that up and I explained it like somebody that we know is good at something. We don't need somebody to be good at everything. Like we can't afford somebody who can do everything really well, because they are $100 million or €100 million or more transfer fees, and there's a reason why they play. Like we're never going to get someone like Erling Haaland or Lewandowski or anybody like that, but we can find somebody that can do one of those 3 or 4 things that we need to do really well, so that we know what we have in them. Because like I said, Rafa Mir and Youssef En-Nesyri just don't have that consistency. And the younger folks that we have just don't have the physicality, and they don't have the maturity to play at that level they can't even do a full 90 with us. But we need something more there, which is what Martial was supposed to be last year. It's supposed to push them and provide some depth there, so we had another person in our rotation. We don't have that now, so we need to find somebody else.
Yeah. Sorry, Eddie. What were you going to say, buddy?
That's all good, man. I agree for the most part. I understand the idea. I think maybe De Jong was a bad example, but I know what you meant by that. I agree. I just think it's the timing. Had it been Koundé that left first, it would have been much easier, just because we have Rekic already as a backup that's ready to start, and Goodell was obviously not the desired backup, right? So had it been Koundé that had left first or even earlier than he did, he probably would have been replaced already. So I guess the timing with that is what's kind of derailed everything. I'm pretty sure Monchi still has a plan for all of this. I'm pretty sure the pressure is still there. Hence why they made a visit, him and Castro, to the referee's locker room yesterday. So I'm sure they're hearing it from certain circles, but I'm not too worried. I know we're going to sign someone else in attack, whether it's going to be another center forward or a wide forward like Martial. Preferably that profile, just because the 3 center forwards in one squad is probably not going to be the best. But I don't know. At least if we do get another center forward, at least it's someone that they could trust and pass the ball to, because it's like we're not even getting the striker involved, and it's like you're playing with 10 men at that point. You're only going to pass it to him with a long ball or crosses into the box. It's like, come on, trust your guys, man. They probably don't trust them because they see them in training, and it's like, okay, heavy touch here, heavy touch there. They can't really dribble and stuff, so they won't pass them the ball in game. But you have to play with your striker. It helps the whole team. But in terms of the signings, I think we're fine.
Speaking of De Jong, like, we did that when he was on the pitch, right? Like, they would pass him the ball. He would hold it up and let it go. Not enough, but, I mean, there was times that you saw that, especially early in the season. What is it, 2 years ago, I guess? 2 seasons ago. You saw him getting the ball. It wasn't advanced. It was more like he's dropping back into midfield just to get involved. But I thought you saw that a little bit. And that's one reason that I think me and Eddie both were a little disappointed that they moved on from him so quickly. But I think the frustrating thing is, why is it taking so long, right? Like, if Monchi had a plan and it, okay, it's been 2 weeks since Koundé's gone. Like, why hasn't things moved? If you had a plan and the plan was ready, you're going to execute it as soon as it happened, and it didn't. So, why is that? That's something I can't explain, and just makes you question, like, did other things happen behind the scenes? Did the front office say, hey, we got all this money, let's just buy some low ball players and put Goodell there and be done with it? Like, it makes you wonder, like, is there budgeting concerns? Is there financial, concerns? Can they register these players? I mean, that's been a rumor on the interwebs too. The Sevilla's having trouble, registering these guys. I say no too, because I mean, we just got $85 million from 2 players. Like, hello, like, well, more than that, but we're plus 85 million in our transfer market so far. So, I don't see that as a problem. So I don't know. It's hard to explain why it's taking so long to get that center back. As Steve said, like, we knew that they were going to leave. We absolutely knew those 2 players were going to leave this year. So why is it taking so long to get? And then why is Marcal not playing? Why is he not in the preseason? There's rumors of injury. There's rumors of him being out of shape. Like, why is but the player's saying that he's fine, so why is he not being featured? But it's just weird. It's been a weird offseason for the team and for us, and I'm not satisfied. Steve said he's satisfied. I can't be satisfied because we're not prepared. We're not ready day one to go into the season. Now we're down. We've already dropped one game. That's a quarter of what we lost all of last season. We're not setting up well. And to me, we've not improved. Like we're trotting out the same people. We're trotting out the same philosophy. What's changed? And this is why I thought we should have let Lopetegui go at the end of last season, because here we are again. We're stuck. Now, if we do have to make a change mid-season, if this team doesn't figure it out, now we're another transfer season behind, where we're implementing somebody else's system with players. We're behind again. So I think this team might be set up for some hard times in the next couple seasons, and it might take a couple seasons of dropping out of Champions League places to figure it out and change our philosophy back to finding those players like Koundé that you can sell for 85 million. Hard thoughts.
Thankfully, none of that is going to happen because the chasing pack isn't that strong. Emery's in charge of Villarreal. I know he's going to muck it up somehow. Emery has always had a tough time making top four in Spain. I know he had the Valencia stint with the two Davids over there, but since then, making top four has not been his shtick. So he's terrific playing in Europe, but the league is not his thing. Real Betis,
they're not playing in Europe though. They're playing in this conference league thing, I guess, but
it's still Europe.
He doesn't have that same concentration, so they can go balls to the wall for the league.
All right, we'll revisit this in April. Real Betis might be our toughest challenge for fourth place. I could believe that because they've been playing decent. Real Sociedad, I don't know. Maybe it was an off year last year. Maybe they'll improve this year. I'm not sure. Who are the others? Athletic Club.
None of those teams that you mentioned, other than Sociedad's, made any moves. Betis had one signing, but they're going to lose Carvajal. They're going to lose not Carvajal. Right? William, whatever his name is. They're probably going to lose him. They're talking about Bartra maybe moving. Like, I don't think Betis is going to be as strong as last year. I think they're going to take a step back.
But you can say the same thing about us, though, too, right? Like, even with the signings that we made, like, you can't help but think that we are still, like, we are definitely still playing 2022. Yeah, so calendar year 2022 Sevilla football. Like, this is, like, from January 1st through now, like, it is the same thing. Like, the reason why we finished top four last year is because we had such a strong end to 2021.
And the other teams weren't as good last year. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
The problem with what we're talking about here is the gap between Sevilla and the top three has grown, in my opinion, exponential. I can't speak anymore. Whatever. We're really far behind Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Real Madrid, in my opinion now. More so than we were last year. However, we are much closer to the Betis, Villarreal, all these teams in terms of talent by losing those two center backs and not really replacing with quality. Maybe we do before the end of the season or transfer window, but I see us more in that, people said it, 8th place maybe for this team. Like, that could happen. Really could.
I think those are just doomers, man. I think it's the same gap as last season. It may look that way. I understand we lost our center back pairing, but they came together in the same season, and we're running Diego Carlos and Carrizo to begin that season, and they were terrific together. So, I mean, I trust in Lopetegui to gel with whatever center backs he gets. I think it's just a numbers game as it relates to the center back that hasn't come in yet. I don't know which one they're trying to get because there's 1,000 people saying different things. But whoever ends up coming, I know they're working hard on getting that done. and perhaps they're saving money for a really decent attacker to really, for us to trust. Monchi told us to be patient from the get-go, so I'll be patient.
I think the difference is those two players, Carlos and Koundé, came in the 1st of July. They were there in the very beginning of July, had that whole preseason to work through the system, got all those reputations while they were doing the training in Dallas and Boston, and then all those preseason matches. And then Koundé thrown into the light. I mean, Carlos started day one, like you said, with Carrizo, and then Koundé coming in really close after that. So at the end of that whole offseason, now you're bringing in a center back pairing maybe that's got to figure it out in the first part of the season. That's a lot to figure out when you've got games coming up. Barcelona in 4 weeks, I think, or 3 weeks.
Match day 4.
I think that's match day 4. Like, we're not going to be prepared. We're not prepared for the season, and I think that's the most disappointing thing. And I don't know. I'm disappointed. I know you want to be patient, and Monchi says be patient. He has to say that, but
that's fine.
We're not prepared, and that's what's so frustrating about this season. I hate to be a downer, but there's nothing positive, and that's not how I was feeling yesterday. I felt great yesterday. It's so crazy. But
you have every reason to feel like that. Remember, we got battered 6-0 in preseason. I know that's preseason, but that wasn't supposed to happen. So you have every right to say what you just said, because that very much could be true. And it's like, what are they doing? Like the player you signed, what's going on with the team? What's going on with Monchi's team there? Was there a missight? But I guess it's circumstantial. But,
yeah.
I don't know. I think you can have patience and you can be satisfied with where we are with our signings right now and still be unsatisfied with the product on the field. Like, we're taking steps forward and we have some patience there to sign players and like wait for the vision for this offseason to come to fruition. But totally still acknowledge everything that you said, Chris, where it's like, yeah, like what we showed yesterday is not what we want to see on the field. We can't see it on the field. There were some positives, yes, and we talked about some of that. But it was mainly just an extension of the last 4 months of last season. And all through Eddie, you brought up the battering we took in London when we lost 6-0. I'd argue that all of our preseason matches, even the one we won 6-0, like in Portugal, like all of those were of equal, of equal lack of excitement. That was terrible English, but they all, like, none of them were super exciting. And honestly, like, we finished the preseason run dead even on points for and points against. Like, it's like that is the most Sevilla thing, at least under Lopetegui, that we have.
A super draw.
Yeah, it's just like it's just a draw all the way through. And yeah, I don't know. Like, it's hard to balance the excitement that I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, where football's back, Sevilla's back, we're back on this podcast, we're back interacting with fans online, and it's not just speculation. We're talking about actual results on the field, and all of that is really exciting. And temper that with the fact that what we're seeing on the field is not exciting. What we're talking about is not exciting. So, like, how do we balance that? How do we still stay excited about this team after really taking a beating last year? How many episodes did we start last year, Chris, with you actually apologizing for the quality of play on the field? And
that's so true. That's so true.
You can't help but think that we're going to be making those same kind of caveats at the beginning of the episodes going forward.
We're not talented enough host and to bring the excitement, right? Like, we can only do so much. We need the Sevilla team to help us out a little bit.
It gets tough. Yeah, I don't know. Like,
I know what you're saying. Things have got to change, and I don't see it. Even with Isco, I don't see it. He brought in a 30-year-old. Like, that's great. his glory days were awesome, but it doesn't make me excited. Like, I'm not that excited about Isco. Like,
I'm not either.
it's like, come on. Like, I get that he's an Andalusian prodigy and all this, but he's 30. That I don't see us progressing with that signing. Like, and I think this is why the transfer market is different for Monchi this year. Like, I think his strategies having to be modified because you see these big money squads come in and buy these young players that nobody would have heard about back in the day. Nobody would have gave them a chance, right? You wouldn't have saw Real Madrid signing 18-year-olds and then you got these big money squads carrying 35 players and loaning out 25 of them. No, well, not 25, but 10 of them, to other teams and having these big old rosters because they can afford it. And I think Monchi's ability to make those younger, promising signings has been limited here recently just because of the new market, the new money. And Sevilla just doesn't have it. We don't have those big oil guys backing us. We can't sell our media department for 25 years and and get some upfront cash for it. It's just we don't have those assets, and I don't want us to have. Like, that's why I love this team. I love being kind of a disadvantage from the get-go and then overachieving. And
you don't want to sell Daniel McGuinness for 25% rights to Sevilla FC English social media for the next 10 years.
He is talented. Maybe we can loan him out to some other teams, and he's a very talented guy. Maybe we can loan him out, improve some of these guys.
Shout out to the English Sevilla account. I think it's just us in this position. I know there's might be a few other clubs in this scenario that we're in that's that's on the precipice, trying to break into that elite group of world-class teams. It's just us. So maybe that's the challenge too for Monchi. We kind of have to look for a different kind of player for us to make a difference in the Champions League now, because we're not trying to win Europa League anymore. We're trying to compete for league titles. We're trying to compete in the Champions League. So what players do you have to bring in? Is it going to be, are you going to go find another Vitolo at Las Palmas, right? Or try to get someone from the academy?
Sarabia.
Huh?
Sarabia. I mean, there's, right?
I mean,
there's so many of these.
I would like a Sarabia right now. I would also would like a Ben Yedder as well, right? But it's a bit difficult. So
yeah, it's a difficult change, and you're right. But to that point, Eddie, I mean, we saw what happened last year in the Champions League. We got decimated by speed, and we did nothing to change that this summer. We didn't gain any speed. Not a single one of our signings is fast, right? Tell us, maybe. I don't think so.
At fullback, I'm pretty sure he could hold his own. Marcao could probably hold his own as well as a center back. But yeah, Isco is not the quickest. Maybe his first step in terms of close control. But yeah, I think that's the exact player we need that's left to be signed, is players that can make a difference on the physical level. A wide attacker that has pace, or a center midfielder that's a bit physical, maybe a box-to-box player that we might need. I don't know, someone that could create from deep. I don't know. There's definitely something lacking in midfield as well. But we shall see. Vamos a ver.
That's true. Well, guys, we were going to keep it at 30 minutes, but here we are, 48. So, as always, especially first episode of the season, is a lot to unpack there. A lot of questions for this team, as we mentioned earlier. Next up for the squad, who do we got? I forgot to even look. It's another Friday game. How do we get 2 Friday games in a row? That makes zero sense to me.
To save the weekend for us, it's just get the Sevilla game out of the way.
You don't have to record at midnight.
Get these we went through hard times last year. It's like at least let the Sevillistas enjoy their weekend. The Steviistas, sorry.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Valladolid coming up
Yeah.
on Friday. Yeah. So
Another very
welcome
winnable
back
game.
to La Liga Valladolid.
Yeah. We said the same thing about Osasuna, or we didn't say it because we weren't hosting the podcast last week, but I think we all thought that Osasuna was a very winnable game, and it proved to be a winnable game. Things didn't go our way, and we didn't take advantage of opportunities that we had.
It is a hard place to play. That stadium
it is. It really is.
Unbelievable
Yeah.
and really hard place to play. But, I mean, Friday's match has got to be a must-win, right? Like, we can't start, especially being at home.
Yep.
The fans are going to be livid if we lose that game.
I think the fans are going to let them hear it either way.
I think they would be behind them at the beginning, but if they perform poorly, they're going to hear it after that game.
Yeah.
Does Isco play next week?
He might get a sub appearance. I think
Yeah.
they're still trying to work him in.
What do you guys think for results next week?
1-0 win. Maybe 2. Maybe 2, but 1-0 win.
No. I could see 1-0 or 2-1, I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
I just can't tell
no
you what the
confidence.
I just can't tell you what the referee's going to do. All right? Because
Right?
they could play great for 80. They could perform well for 80 minutes. Then at the drop of a dime, give someone a red card for going up for a header. Gotta look.
Not a good look for La Liga this week. I mean, you have Friday, no other games playing, all the national media looking at this match, talking about it, and a crappy referee decision.
It was the first match of the entire season, like that. You were kicking things off, but
just ruined it. And not a good look, especially when you're trying to make changes to your refereeing. And stay out of it, man. Stay out of it, referees. Just do your job. Don't make stupid, idiotic calls. That play did not affect anything. There was no chance of that guy scoring. There was nothing. Just stay out of it. Stay in your lane. Don't cause a decision to ruin the game in the 70th minute or whatever.
What are the two of you most excited to see on Friday against Real Valladolid?
The two players?
Just in terms of players or like things that you want to see on the field, like what hypes you up the most for this game next week, Friday? We've been talking pretty negatively about what we saw yesterday, but like, what are you excited about going forward into the match day 2?
See if we're going to involve the center forward more. I have full confidence in Rafa. That's a player that knows how to finish, but try to play with him a little bit. See what more he could add to the game. We could just write him off and say, he has bad feet and is not going to contribute in the build-up. But how do we know that? There's that, and playing Papu again. Whenever I see Papu or Tegotito on the pitch, I'm happy. So I'm not really worried about much else. Fernando's there too, so it's like he's doing the same thing again, like getting those interceptions when you don't think he's going to get him. Key interventions, and it's like
that one tackle, right? The tackle that he had to dive for last minute to break up that attack. Like that was going to be at least a shot on goal. And
yes,
unbelievable for a 34, 35-year-old, whatever he is.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Chris, what are you most excited about?
I don't know. Hearing the hymno and seeing the beers, because the play on the pitch, I don't think anything's going to change. I'm not excited about the game. There's nothing that's going to excite me about Sevilla watching this style of play. It's just not going to do it for me. So hearing the fans and singing the hymno, that's it. Seeing the stadium, that's all I'm excited about for Friday. Sorry.
I'm excited to see what becomes of our 3 new signings. If we're going to see, I would imagine we see more of Teles, seeing as he played last week or yesterday. So it would be surprising if we didn't see him feature at least a little bit again. But I'm also excited to see what becomes of Isco and Marcao. Like, are they going to get minutes? And we can see them on the pitch making their debut in front of the home crowd. And then the other thing I'm really excited about is that we're still carrying some of our Sevilla Atletico players on our big roster, not a big roster on our like senior roster right now. So I'm excited for the chance. If we are playing well and we are up, can we get those players 10, 15 minutes? Whereas, because we brought on Ivan Romero yesterday, but we expected him to do something to help us win instead of, just manage the game and get minutes. And that's not fair to him. That's not fair to the other Sevilla Atletico players because they're just not at that level yet. So that's what I'm excited about, is the opportunity, the potential to see how these players that we haven't seen before or haven't seen a lot of before play well. Chris, you are shaking your head like crazy.
Ain't no way this team's going to be in a position to bring in these kids to play out some minutes. It's just not going to be there. The only way they're going to play is if somebody gets hurt, which is more likely. I'm going to change my answer. I'm more excited for this week to see if Monchi makes a move. That's more important to me than, because I don't think anything's changing in the game on Friday. So Monchi making a move to improve this team is the most important thing that's going to happen this week.
Yeah, I think Ivan Romero only played because Lopetegui didn't even like the other options. It's like, I don't have any other attackers on the bench. Do you see him? Like, no. Munir's right there. It's like, oh, actually, Munir wasn't even on the squad.
Munir didn't even travel. He's
and that's the thing. Like, that's kind of why I brought up the fact that we need to have another attacking option, because it's not fair to expect Ivan Romero to come on and have him play and have him be that third option. Because he's not there yet. Like, he's still young.
Oliver's sitting there. Oliver could pick out a pass, but Lopetegui just doesn't trust him. Eddie doesn't either, but he did it. He did it against Cadiz. He picked out the pass that won the game. So,
and that was a preseason game, right? That was a preseason game. This is the big time. This is laliga, right? Rakitic was amazing. Rakitic was amazing off the bench against Cadiz. Those shots from outside the box. Yeah. And then what happened when he came on? And like, he didn't even play 45 minutes. He played like 10. And
didn't look good at all.
Did Jack. And I'm like a defender of Rakitic. Like, people are always putting him down. It's like, damn, get him and Jordan out of here. I'm like, whoa, let's at least keep Rakitic. I mean, he's at least contributing. But
led the team in assists last year.
Shows us that, and it's like, damn, I can't even say nothing for him. But in terms of the Canterano, I think I really liked Jose Angel Carmona as a fourth center back. Maybe it's risky. It might not be ready for him, but I'd like to at least see him get a loan to a top team. Maybe in La Liga, maybe in the Segunda. I'm not sure, but I think he's quality.
Yeah, he played really well in the preseason matches that we played. Yeah, I like to see him out there.
I like Ortiz too. I think he's going to be one to look for in the future. There in the defensive midfield, definitely somebody that we could keep an eye on. But Atletico's playing down in 4th division. They're making some moves. Loaning some guys out. I can't remember who all left recently, but maybe we'll hit that more in the next episode of the moves there with Sevilla Atletico. But there's no reason these guys are playing in 4th division, so finding them space is very important. There's no reason to play Ivan in 4th division football. There's no reason that Carlos Alvarez and Pedro Ortiz and Pablo, all these guys don't need to be playing 4th division. So hopefully we can find space for them. I think Lucimi and Zarzana or something like that, I think of going out. So hopefully they can continue. Yeah, Wanlu, that's it. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I hate to be so negative, but Lopetegui screwed up my weekend, man. I was so excited, and then nothing from this team. Nothing. So, anything else before we get off?
I'll just leave it with the comment from Aduk in Manchester. I'm reserving judgment for now and not panicking and overreacting after one game. There's a long way to go this season, and I'm sure things will get better once a few reinforcements settle in. It's match day 1, guys. It's okay. Match day 1. What if we just have this one loss for the rest of the year? You know what I mean? I know that's hard to see, but yeah, I know y'all saw the tweets. The last time we lost, we won the Europa League. The one before that, we won the Copa del Rey. So it's like, it's not the end of the world. And not half our team is away in the injury table right now. So at least that's positive.
Yeah.
Well, there's still time for that too.
Except for Suso.
Enough. Come on, man. Match day 1. You're already coming at me with Suso. I'm done, man.
You even oh, he just turned off his camera. Look at that. You even introduced yourself on the preseason whatever podcast in that little segment you did. He's the president of Suso Nation. So
he's member one of Suso Nation.
Yes, and he's injured right now. Can we give him a break? He had a long layoff last season. He's not going to be fit and ready right away. Let my man get back to fitness.
He tried. He got hurt again.
Just wait, man. Just wait. y'all love to doubt, man. Just wait.
I think Suso has I think he has a part in this team. I think him and Navas actually work really well together on that right side. And losing Suso last year, I think definitely hurt us. Thank goodness we had Lamela to kind of step in. But anyway, I don't know. You're right. I mean, it's match day 1, but it feels a lot like last year, right? So it's hard to get it's hard to be glass half full when it seems like a repeat of the end of last season, in my opinion. But we got some new guys on the Monchi's Been forums. Thanks for signing up. Thanks for contributing. Some people that's been lurking there for a long time finally popped up and started talking.
Welcome.
Welcome. If you guys are interested in chatting with us, come over there, forum. Or you can just hit monchismen.com and sign up, or hit me up on Twitter if you have any troubles logging in or anything at Chris Lell. We got a new look over there. What do you guys think about the new look? I like the new skin anyway. Maybe
Took
not
me
the
forever
background,
to figure out how to do it on my phone.
Yeah. Well, that was me. I had a setting wrong. I was pulling in the image from a different. I was trying to pull the image from Google Drive and it didn't work. So, because it worked for me, but not for everybody else. But whatever. It seems more clean. I don't know. I like it a little better. But you can change it if you don't. You can go back to the way it was in your preferences. But new look there. We're now on YouTube, but we're going to throw this up on YouTube. If you want to comment there, you can. Make
Hit
sure
that
you
bell.
go to.
Hit the bell.
Yeah,
subscribe.
definitely go to the YouTube. Even if
stuff.
you don't watch us on there, go to YouTube and subscribe. That way we can get our own custom URL. I think we've only got like 10 subscribers right now or something, but definitely go over there and subscribe.
From our sponsor, NordVPN. Yeah.
Especially this summer, we're trying to watch the preseason matches. You needed a VPN if you wanted to watch it on the website. Jeez.
Say that again.
How many cliches? Now that we're on YouTube, how many cliches can we fit into these?
I don't know. It's crazy. I'm sorry we're not better looking. So we're Eddie's stylish over there. Anyway. All right, guys. Last call for any other comments. If not, I'm going to go have some lunch here on the East Coast and finish watching that Celta Vigo Espanyol game. You want to see exciting football? That's what we want. Even though it's a well, I won't say the result, but because Eddie hasn't watched it yet. But go watch that game. It's good. It's gonna be awesome. So until next week, we'll be back after the Valladolid game. Thanks for listening as always. It's Monchi's Men. Vamos mi Sevilla.
Vamos campeón.
Y nunca te rindas.